So, and the reason why what we really want to maintain is a clean line so that all of our dimensions are straight. Okay, it has to look clean. It really does. It really makes a difference. And so since this is crossed over, I'll simply use my stretch command and kind of just move that over. And then I'll fix this guy just because it's sitting on top of that line. Those sort of details make the difference, like right there. Okay, you don't want to have a line going through your text or anything like that. Okay. So keep it clean. You want these lined up. You don't have to do it that way. And then, there's a soffit. So let's deal with the soffit real quick. I'll come over here. I'll use a polyline. I'll extend it out probably about 1 inch because that's probably reality. And then we are using a CTB file, which is a color dependent file. So make sure that if you're using walls or cabinets, that things kind of line up. This line right here is just a 2D dim. It won't come in as dark as, say, the wall is. So what I'll do is I'll do a match properties, and so I'll do MA to match the properties, and I'll grab the properties off the wall and change that to a wall line. Here's one thing you really got to be careful with too. I'm going to make this kind of over dramatic, but do you see how there's no break here? Okay, we really need to keep those distances clean. We need to know that this is a dimension line. So if this ever happens, just drag that grip out to the furthest point so that we need this area. We need to show them that this is an actual, the wall ends here and the dimension starts here. That's pretty much true about everything. We can't have this like that. Keep those dimensions clean. And then, so soffit, we always have to tell them that's not ours. So I'll copy this, NEA again, and I'll just say soffit by others. Okay, the next thing that I do is make sure my plan view matches my elevation. So it's 109.5. That I know for sure that this isn't what this is. So I'll simply just make this work. And that's the only bad thing about not using a Microvellum product for countertops, is it's not parametric. So I think it's 7/16. Man, I'm using a stretch command right now. Sometimes if there's a clearance for equipment, make sure that we place it in there. And basically what we need to do is say something like verify with equipment. Okay. And the reason for that is if our countertops are too long or too short, sometimes we'll encroach on the equipment or whatever here sometimes. In this case, it's not that. I believe it's just open, so it doesn't matter anyways. So there's nothing call out here. There is a call out here for a fridge, but we got plenty and plenty of room here to have a fridge here. So, in that case, I wouldn't worry about that. Sometimes if this was wall to wall, we have to put this dimension here for this. Make sure you put verify or VIF, which means verify in field. The other thing we do place in plan view is the countertop depth, because that's pretty important. So now what we're going to do is finish off this drawing as far as getting it ready for paper space. I don't know if I need to go into sections or not, but I'll do the elevations for now. Yeah, let me go ahead and do that then. So I'll change my scale real quick, and I'll set my scale to SCL scale to 1 inch because that's normally what we do. And then I'll go to products, and normally what I do first is I'll draw a polyline in the same height my wall. So 120, yeah. So there's my wall. I'll do an MA to match properties to get that wall line there. Okay. I'll use my draw section tool, and I don't use drawing tokens, so I'll turn off everything. Don't use drawing tokens. Yep, I don't use any of their drawing tokens. So again, I won't use their drawing tokens, so I say don't use. All we want is the product. We don't want their drawing. So now the rest is up to us. We can detail this however we want to. So, again, I'll show you multi-line. I'll do a scale of 0.75 for material. Oops, scale. Okay. Once you draw one countertop in, you can just keep it. So I'll do 25.5. Okay. Multi-line again. So if I'll change, let's see, go this way, go 4. copy, and then I'll do my backsplash justification. I'll change my justification to bottom so I can go start from that side, and justification top. Yeah, it's just as quick to draw like this. And if you want to create a block, we can create a block for it. If we're gonna do that, if we're gonna do something like that, let's fill up our draw blocks. I don't like starting drawings dirty. It drives me nuts when you have a whole bunch of stuff on the side here that are set up for and there, I find that it's too much to have to go over there and cut and paste. If we're going to do that, let's fill up our common blocks with the things we like. Okay, because one thing you got to keep in mind is the more we have to do this thing, we're wasting time. And you have to come back and do that. The more we pan, the more we zoom, we're not being very efficient drafters. So if we can just keep this right in front of us and simply change the Microvellum to bring in symbols and bring in blocks, a lot better. I'm not opposed to that at all. On this one again, you want to keep it clean. This one only has a door, but we want, remember, keep those distances. We do want door heights and drawer front heights. Those are important in sections. We got to show the gap. Most of the time I show gaps. I do show the gap. So I'll show the 1/8 inch gap there. Sometimes I'll show the gap here and countertop. Okay, but that sort of stuff happens, so we got to make sure it looks clean. Yeah, and it's that special line, I call it spline, but okay, so I'm not going to finish off that drawing. You can use these as a reference. So you'll see all the important information. Okay, in the sense that you do have to point to like an interior, I like using this circle here, and I do that just by changing the properties. So I'll type in like MO, and that's like millimeter interior, because see how my leader's not actually pointing to anything in space? It has to be on it, like that's, the pool's at the pool, and this is at the exterior. This one is the interior, so I'll change that. I'll type in the MO for properties, select the leader, and simply come over here to the arrow and change it. And that's just my key thing, is you want to keep this drawing, the drawing itself, as clean as possible. Your eyes, yeah, your eyes need to be able to see this clearly, because that's what we're producing. That's what we're giving them. And if it's cluttered and has a bunch of stuff in here, even text, it just seems to kind of take away from what we're doing. So that you can take a look at that, and then that's the sections. Okay, don't forget to change your scale back to 1.5 inches, or 1/2 inch, I mean. And let's finish off the rest of this. Yep, all based on that SCL. The next thing that I use Microvellum Smart Labels. So here's one here. I'll bring this one in. And the reason why I like these is because it comes in with the scale that you're at. You don't have to be typing a lot of stuff in. So if I change SCL to say 1.5 inches or an inch, and I come over here to my sections over here, and I drop in a label for my section label, it knows to change that for me. And I'll just delete it. We don't need that. Yeah, no, and then we can just change the wording here. And then if we have a reference for the actual section, we can say reference, I'm just going to guess right now, 1 and 3 on sheet A11 or something, A101. Okay. We always want to be able to tell them where we found the information at. Yeah, so, and again here, let's go look and see where we found that. That's 9 of like A602 or something like that. So okay, always want to do that. Then up here, what I use under common blocks, there's an elevation symbol right here. This one's really cool because it allows us to rotate. If I say 45, it rotates that pointer in a 45-degree angle. So that's really cool. But for now, it's just, oh, we're in the wrong scale. No one does, and I think it's a real waste, and I think it's and a lot of people have either blocks they insert, but even with the insert block, you have to go look for it. Too much time wasted, yeah. And a lot of people do that. They'll have off to the side, they'll have all their default like leaders and stuff, but then you have to keep in mind the scale that it's at. You have to rescale it. You have to cut and paste. You have to zoom and pan. Too much time. So if we can fill this up and change this to where we want to, it's a lot better. We keep our eyes on the screen, okay, and our mouse does very little moving, but other than to go find it. So I've always used these ones. These ones are good. They do the job. You know, I haven't used these. I haven't changed things. The only thing I've ever done to Microvellum is actually just added to it. Like let's say we want to add a cool new sink. We can draw a cool new sink and place it in there that we like to use. You know, that's the only thing I've added was sinks. I've added like steel brackets, those sort of things I'll add to my Microvellum, but I never really changed any of this stuff. It's everybody likes it. I've always got compliments on the drawings, so reference A, and then we tell them where we found this one. Okay, so that's it in a nutshell. What I also done is it here? Let's see here. Yeah, there it is. The one thing I do and have found it easier to do is this is on a def point layer, so it won't print anything. One thing I have done in the past is do this, and the reason for this is whenever you're in a drawing and you have to edit something, we want to find it pretty damn quick. You know, so yeah, so this just helps us find the drawings. So we want to just say what room it is. So I don't know what room this is. I'll just say cafeteria room A11. Oh, okay, whatever the room is, doesn't matter. In the plan view, we also want to call out what room it is. I think they ran by CO2 plan view. And if you want to, you can call out what the room is, like if it's cafeteria or waiting or reception, you can. And this one has to match too. So C102. I'll just put elevation for now. Okay. Now, the reason why I do everything in model space, okay, for 3D, if you're gonna be doing 3D, it changes the whole ball game. But in 2D, we can get away with simply finishing our drawings right here, and that's the whole point. We want to finish the drawing. Okay, we want to make it look the way we're done here because I find that if we have to go here and have to put in our information, then we have to go back again. It's a waste of time, and we're spending too much time going back and forth. Okay, so now let me go to paper space now and give you a few pointers here. Okay, so I have a few of these set up already. So I'll just zoom in here. I kind of line it up a little bit. There's my plan view. I'll type in SCL and then do zoom to scale. Okay, and then I'll bring this one in. Okay, and then I just make it, or make the viewport fit the drawing. I just make sure that when I'm done moving things around, I'm in the right scale, and then just exit back to paper space. So I will line up, let's see here, I'll move this here. I will line up these ends, okay, to make it look good. Again, it's all visual, so we want to make sure that, okay, so not only are we lined up vertically, okay, we're also lined up horizontally. You'll notice that the bottoms of my elevations line up. Okay, we need to keep that consistent if you have more than one. That's kind of what I do for my drawings.